So, this is a simple self assessment way to be able to meet yourself where you're at. So, the biggest thing is trying really hard not to judge yourself or not to push yourself where you feel like you're supposed to be. And it's a way of being able to meet yourself where you're at. So, if you can think of a cup as your energy, right? So, we have a finite amount of energy, 100% full cup, right? And then this is zero, and then anything below this is when we're depleted. Now, you can figure out where you are located throughout the day. Sometimes we can do too much of that, so it is finding something that works with you and finding the balance in that. I typically do it in the morning when I wake up. So last night I had a kid visitor into my bed, and so I'm a little bit tired. So I would say I'm probably at a 30% in my energy level. Now, because I'm at a 30%, I can be able to lovingly meet myself in that 30%. I'm not expecting myself to be at 100% because that is not happening, right? So the 30% is where I'm meeting myself at. And I know that I can't do anything that's going to deplete me really, 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 below my energy. Or if I am, then I'm going to have to make sure that I give myself ample time to recover. So it's not only about meeting yourself where you're at, but it's also allowing yourself to plan ahead if you need to, right? So let's say I'm 30% and I have to go give a presentation. Presentations take all of my energy. So that means that I'm going to be depleted, right? And so what that means is now I am below my energy level. And so now I'm in recovery mode. Everything that I do after this is going to be in here. I'm probably going to be a little bit more, quick with my words. I'm not going to have as much patience with my kids, right? So it's really just understanding that this is where I'm at and how can I recover, and also how can I have some softness for myself, right? Because the more softness for myself, that means that I'm going to build more energy back. Versus if I'm angry with myself for being depleted, I'm just going to make myself even more irritable and angry, right? Because I'm depleting more energy. So cup method is a great way of kind of being able to assess where you are. Sometimes I'll do it in the morning, midday, and evening. Again, find what works for you. If it's too much to do 3 times a day, it might even just be doing it at the middle of your day, right? So right now it's about 1 o'clock, and I would say, let's see, this morning I felt at a 30. I would say I'm probably at a 40 now. I love my job. It's something that gives me energy, even though it does take energy, right? So everything we do gives and takes energy. If I had to give a presentation, right, that doesn't give me a whole ton of energy. It takes a lot of energy. But doing my job gives me energy and it takes energy. And so it is just kind of finding that balance and finding out where and how can we meet ourselves where we're at with love and compassion, and not you should be doing this or you should be doing that, right? Because that's going to only deplete our energy. And sometimes we have to do things that take away energy. We have to do them. Especially as a parent, there's a lot of things that we do that just zaps that energy right out. So remembering that maybe what we need, if we do like a girls' weekend or we do something like, yes, that's going to give us energy, but it's also going to take energy away because we're going to be planning, we're going to be driving, you're going to be doing all these different things. So, and then what happens after that is we're often like, well, why? I just had a vacation or I just did this. So why am I still so stressed out? Or why am I still like, why haven't I recovered? And so just remembering that the recovery period takes time, and also remembering to find and meet ourselves where we're at. And what little things can we do that give us energy? Sometimes for me, it's sitting in the sun. That gives me a little bit of energy. It doesn't take much away because I can just walk outside and just sit in the sun for a little bit, and that gives me energy. maybe going for a walk. Now that's going to take a little bit, but it's also going to give you some energy too. So it's finding those little pieces that give you just a little bit of energy that can help when you're feeling on the lower side or even depleted, right? Because when you're depleted, we're really needing to try and recover. And that looks very different. That might look like laying in bed. That might look like it might look like taking a walk versus going for a run. And a lot of times we don't like that. We want to be busy. We want to do the thing, but sometimes it's the rest, which is what we really need to recover. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to me. You can reach me at Emily@bigoakwellness.com, or you can book online. Thank you.